For your Earth Day project, you'll need magazines, glue, scissors, and construction paper. Mod Podge and paper plates are not required. To help me get started on the project, I used a paper plate to get the right size image that I wanted to create and cut that out. I also made a rough sketch of the Earth, so I knew where I wanted to put the different colored paper. As you can see, I'm no artist, but it's a nice guide to get you started.
So it has this. So you just click it on. That's so smart.
This might actually work better.
I set that piece aside that I could use later. I got out some old magazines and found pictures with blues and greens that I could use. I simply tore out those pages and then just ripped the colors in the spots that I wanted. I ripped them into small pieces. You don't have to worry about being too precise here, because the pieces will be glued on top of one another. I made a pile of those ripped pieces of paper and set them aside to get started. I took the pieces of paper and glued them onto the paper plate, starting with the blue for the ocean first. I'll cover most of the paper plate with the blue. I like to mix the different hues of blue together to give more variety. You can see I'm gluing pieces, not worrying about the edge of the paper plate. Those edges can be trimmed later, and I'm laying the pieces on top of each other. I continue to do this until just about the whole part of the plate is full of the blue. I'll be laying on the green later. Now we start with the green pieces. I put them on roughly where I put the drawing of the globe as my guide. I'm not being too picky about how it looks. You can be creative here. Now you can see the edges. I'm going to trim those off too. Now we're ready for the Mod Podge. I use a foam brush to dip in and put just a thin layer of the Mod Podge over the picture. You're just using a dabbing motion, and this helps set the picture. I let it dry, and now we're ready to glue it on. I put enough glue on the back of the paper to put it on my construction paper. Get it set just right, and then let it sit. Now I'm cutting out an arrow for the fine detail of the project. We glue that arrow on just underneath the globe. Now that the piece is done, I've written recycle at the top and used a black Sharpie to make sure the outline is nice and clear. After I'm done, I'm just going to erase some of my pencil lines and make sure it looks nice and clean and neat. And there, we've done it. You can hang that in your house.